Okay, before I begin, I just want to say that this was a video I was supposed to have done a long time ago, and I forgot to do it, but I'm doing it now, so yeah. That's number one. Number two, if you hear the air conditioning, I have like 2 big air conditionings, and they are blasting because it's hot in here. So I do apologize for that. I'll try to do my best to clean it up in the audio while I'm editing it, but I really wanted to take this time to tell you guys about the Freeze Unfreeze documentary. I was supposed to did a video on this a long time ago, so I do apologize, but better late than never. I did a video on this before, and I talked about how I thought it was very well put together, and that even though they didn't clarify anything, it seemed like SM was on Lucas's side. Yeah. Disregard what I said, because sometimes you gotta look at a thing twice, right? Sometimes you do, to see the problems. And I looked at the documentary again after having a talk with Ho Shining. Ho Shining made a video talking about her thoughts on the Freeze Unfreeze documentary, and I said to myself, because deep down you know when someone's right, because you've already thought it and you just didn't want to admit it to yourself that it was true. That's how I felt watching Ho Shining's review of the situation, or overview of the situation. I was in denial. SM was not on their side, and I knew that, and I just I wanted to believe so bad. I really did. So okay, here's what the bee's knees is. I talked to a couple of people about this, and actually Auntie Rob came in the chat and gave me I wouldn't say she scolded me, but it was kind of like, hey, you know what's going on. You know this. You know. And I was like, yeah, Auntie, I know, but I really wanted to give them a bit of that. She's like, you know. And so I watched it again, and so I got to do a double take and tell you guys that if you don't pay attention, or if you don't hyper focus on the way that it was constructed, you can actually see through that. So I did that. I looked at it, and I wasn't looking at it with the intention of seeing through it. I looked at it with fresh new eyes, didn't want to, put anything on it. But there are things that I pointed out in my last video that hinted that there was something wrong, and I just didn't want to admit it. Like, I pointed out in the last video that they referred to this situation, whatever situation they're talking about, as the incident, quote unquote. And I also said that the point of a documentary is to clarify things, and they did not. So even in the first video I did on this, I was literally admitting they didn't do the job they were supposed to do, or that they set out to do when creating this docu-series, they kept alluding to something he did, and yet they didn't do it. And Auntie Rob got me on this. They're being very vague. Why? Because he didn't do it. He didn't do it. 3 years they could have proven that he did it, and 3 years they didn't. 3 years. 3 years. 3 years. So yeah, I'm not sold on this docu-series anymore. I thought, like, this is them trying to have their back. But you know what? You think about this. 3 years, and now you try to like have his back. And I think somebody, and it might have been Robin, Auntie Robin, paraphrase here, because it's been a minute since I looked at that comment that she made, but she said something very interesting, that it's not SM having his back. It's them trying to, and actually Ho Shining said this too, it's them trying to capitalize off of Lucas's fame by making this documentary, getting a quick buck off of him, right? They're using this incident, whatever that is, to pull a fast one on us. And shame on me for trying to give SM any kind of credit or any kind of goodwill salute, for lack of a better way of saying, because they are lying. I still, because I'm thinking, oh, he admitted to something. He admitted to something. The only thing he admitted to, guys, in the documentary was that he thought he knew everything. He thought he was a Mr. Know-It-All. Oh, yes, that's what Robin said. She said that she speculates that it was him seeing like the BS going on with SM and not wanting to fall in line with that. And so this whole situation that happened with Lucas was a way of SM putting him in his place. That might sound far-fetched, but I gotta give it to Auntie Rob. That's actually a really good assessment because I never thought of it that way. But it definitely sounds like something they would do. It really does. In a slick, sly way, they're like saying, all right, Lucas, now you see that your career lies in our hands. Your fame and notoriety is at the behest of us. And even like the way that the CEO, I guess, who, if that was talking to Lucas, like, we have to be apologetic, not just of this, but of that. I had to interject my video because this needs further explanation and expounding. So the CEO was asking Lucas, you remember when I took that picture with you and I posted it to Instagram, and people were asking me, what are you going to do with Lucas? Will he still be an artist? Like, what's going to happen? What's your plan? And he said he didn't know how to answer that. And he said basically that this documentary is to answer those questions. I didn't catch that the first time I saw this, but now that I've watched it a second time, he's basically saying we're not going to answer the question about the situation, about the incident, right? That's not the answer you're going to get. You're going to get the answer of, what are we going to do with Lucas as SM Entertainment? What are we going to do? What's the plan? That's what the Freeze Unfreeze documentary is about. It's not about what I thought it was going to be about. So my bad for thinking that they were actually going to give me what I thought they were going to give me. And I don't know why I did not see this earlier, but now that I watched it a second time, I see now. I see the light. All the questions that you want answered, we're not even going to tackle them in this docuseries. We're going to just kind of like brush over them and then just call it all the incident and then sweep it under the rug and then tell you that we're going to just answer the questions of what are we going to do with Lucas. Great. And then he goes from that to kind of coaching him, and he says that, and I'm going to show you on the screen. He says to Lucas, we need to be sorry to the fans, right? We need to be sorry to the public, but not just that. We need to go beyond that. We have to be better. We have to work harder. He's not saying we in the sense of the company and Lucas. I think he's saying we as in Lucas, just Lucas. You know how a person can say, you know, well, we need to be better. We need to do better than that, right? Right? Trying to like kind of coach you and tell you what you need to do and how you need to present yourself. Yeah, that we is not like a we thing. It's more like a you need to, right? That's what this is giving me. And it's not that I didn't notice this when I first watched it. It's that I kind of glossed over it, even though I saw it, but I was like, no, that's not what I saw. I didn't even bother to go back and look at it until later on, and I went back to look at it and I was like, okay, it is exactly what I thought I saw. So he is telling him, hey, this is what you need to do. And I was just like, wow, bro. Wow. Yeah, throw Lucas under the bus. I wish I had seen this. Oh, I wish I had seen this earlier. Like, I wish I had really, really looked at it and was like, oh, they're just using you, bro. Yeah, now I see it. So, yeah. I just wanted to interject my video just to bring that up. But yeah, back to the video. I'm trying to remember everything that I saw and everything that I was reading. It sounded like he was trying to like coach Lucas into saying, hey, remember, this is an apology tour. This is you apologizing for vague stuff. Don't be clear, right? Don't be clear, because that's not our intention here. We're just putting you out there, apologizing for something that you did, but it's not really what people are accusing you of doing. So all the things that Lucas was accused of doing has not been proven yet, and it probably never will because it never happened. And whether I agree with Auntie Rob or not is not really the issue, because like I said, it's not far-fetched to believe that SM used this entire ordeal to put Lucas in his place. But he did apologize for, acting like he knew everything and all that stuff, right? My problem with this is, why are you apologizing to us? We didn't know anything about this until you apologized for it in public. It had nothing to do with the fans. So you're apologizing in public to the fans, or at least in front of the fans, for something that you did in a matter that had nothing to do with us. So what's really going on here? And then, like I said, I gotta give SM credit for one thing, at least one thing. And it's not for having his back like I gave him credit for initially, but I'm gonna give SM credit for this thing, for making this documentary such a drama fest that I literally was just enamored by the scenery and how they made this thing so personable. They really know how to give you an experience that is very theater-like, but yet make it real. And I'm not saying that what Lucas was feeling wasn't real. I'm not saying that he was acting. I'm saying SM over-dramatized the already serious issue or whatever that Lucas was dealing with by the way the camera was angling, the way the camera was moving around, the bed scene where he's like in bed pondering life, right? The scene where he's with his friends. Shoot, the scene before that when he's on the phone with one of his friends saying, I want to come back to China and I want to talk to you guys and I want to visit some places and I just need to get away and think about some stuff and reflect. At this point, you're hearing an echo effect because reflect was a very big thing in that whole documentary. If you hadn't watched it, definitely watch it. It's a very interesting documentary, but it's a bunch of nothing. It really is. It's a bunch of nothing. It's a nothing burger. It's just nothing. It gives you no closure, gives you no clarity, gives you no information on what happened, how it happened. Guess what? It's SM. I should have known better to expect them to give me something that I know SM never gives, which is clarity or truth. Even their intentions in my mind were seemingly good. They've got his back. His friends are like, yeah, we learned from our mistakes and do all this stuff. If I'm not mistaken, I'm paraphrasing. One of his friends said, we don't even know what happened, really. We don't even know the details of this information. Like, what happened? What did you do? Why? Why is that? Why would you make a documentary, put his friends on there, and then his friends basically tell on the company and everybody else who was accusing him of stuff by saying, after 3 years, we don't know. We still don't know. We don't know. Even your friends don't know. It ain't because Lucas didn't tell them, or Lucas is hiding it, or the company's hiding it. It's not real. I honestly believe at this point it was strummed up drama. You want to know what drama farming looks like? This docu-series? It is. It's nonsense. That's my overview. It was a hodgepodge of beautiful landscapes, beautiful scenery, getting like a personal feel for Lucas. Even dramatic things like him talking about being held accountable and being responsible for his actions in the past, while you're seeing a scene of him boxing with a helmet on or whatever, a mask, and him getting hit right in that helmet. And the slow-mo effect of him being punished for his mistakes, right? That's what it felt like. It was just very strummed up drama. And it was packaged in like this weird ribbon of SM trying to say, to us, we're gonna have Lucas's back. This is us taking up for our idol. After 3 years of putting him in the basement. Utter nonsense. I can't believe I even gave SM credit. Hoshining, thank you for your video, because it did help me to change my position on this and to see that what I initially thought was actually the case all along anyway. And I was just being stubborn and didn't want to admit it to myself, didn't want to believe it, because I guess, you talk about SM and how they handle things and manage their idols and stuff, and you talk so bad about the company that you want to at least have something good to say after all this stuff that you've talked about. And you watch a docu-series saying, wow, well, this is them doing something I didn't expect. They're actually having their back, only to realize later on that this really, after taking a second look and listening to people, conversating and having, dialogue with people, this is exactly what I thought it was from the very start. And I shouldn't have given them any freaking credit at all because they're just not worth it. It's not worth it. It was just nothing. You know what? I changed my mind. Don't watch the docuseries. Don't waste your time. Don't waste like 2 hours or so of your time watching something that you think you're going to get answers to, but it doesn't give you anything. Doesn't give you anything except that Lucas is sorry for something. That's all I got to say. We'll never get the answer. Whatever. Blah, blah, blah. Cry me a river. Whatever. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. And I will see you in the next one. Peace. Love you. Bye.